morning and welcome back to part 2 of our VPC playlist. So, before starting with what is actual virtual private cloud, let's talk about what is classless inter-domain routing and what are private and public IPs. So, let's start. So, first of all, let's start with CIDR, which is classless inter-domain routing. So CIDR method is used for allocating IPs. It is also used in security groups and in networking part of AWS. We also give CIDR blocks in our security group to allow particular IPs, and in network part we also use the CIDR blocks. This is the example of the CIDR. First we have the IP version, then we have the type, then we have protocol, then we have port range, and last is the most important, which is source. And in the source part, we define our CIDR ranges. So here we have 0.0.0.0 slash 0. So here all IPs are there, are allowed. So CIDR actually defines an IP range, a particular IP range. So if we have slash 32 here, then we can only allow one IP. If there is slash 0 here, then all IPs are there. If we have slash 26 in the source part here, then we can have 64 IPs. So let's take an example that we have a CIDR block as 192.168.0.0 slash 26. Then we can have 64 IPs from dot 0 to dot 64. We can have 64 IPs in this CIDR block range. So this is called as classless inter-domain routing. So let's see that how actually the classless domain routing works. The CIDR actually how it works. So CIDR has a combination of two components. First is base IP, which is a range of IP, and second is a subnet mask, which is associated with the base IP. So IP addresses are in a particular range. We can see the range here. For example, we can have 10.0.0.0 as one range, and we can have 192.169.0.0 as other range. We can have many more different ranges in the base IP. But the subject mask is very important because they define that how many bytes can be consumed by the IP address. For example, we have different subnet masks such as slash 0, slash 24, slash 32, and many more. We can have subnet masks. So the subnet mask can be represented into two ways. One is the slash notation, and second is the IP format. If we have subnet mask as slash 8, then the IP representation of slash 8 subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. If we have slash 16 as our subnet mask, then the IP representation of this is 255.255.0.0. If we have slash 24 as our subnet mask, then we can have the IP representation of it as 255.255.255.0. And if we have slash 32 as our subnet mask, then the representation of it in IP format is 255.255.255.255. So this is how the CIDR actually works. It has two components, base IP and subnet mask. So now let's see what is subnet mask. So, subnet mask is defined as a 32-bit address that segregates an IP address into network bits that identify the network and host bits that identify the host device operating on that network. So, let's take some examples of our subnet mask so we can be more clear on what is actually a subnet mask, why it is important. So let's say that we have a IP which is 192.168.0.0, and the subnet mask for it is slash 32. Then if the subnet mask is slash 32, then it will allow only one IP which is 2 raised to 0. So only 192.168.0.0 IP will be allowed if the subnet mask is slash 32. If the subnet mask is slash 31, then it will allow two IPs. So we can say that 2 raised to 1, so it will allow two IPs. So from 0 and 1, two IPs will be allowed if the notification, or we can say, sorry, the subnet mask is slash 31. If The subnet mask is /30, then it will allow 4 IPs. So 2 raised to 2 means 4. So it will allow 4 IPs. So from 0 to 3, it will allow for 30/30 subnet mask. If we have 29 as a subnet mask, then it will allow 8 IPs. 2 raised to 3 means 8. So from 0 to 7 IPs, it will allow 8 IPs and /29 subnet mask. If we have 28 as a subnet mask, then it will of course allow 16 IP, 2 raised to 4. So from 0 to 15 IPs will be allowed in /28 subnet mask. Then if we have /16 as our IP, then it will allow 65,536 IPs. So 2 raised to 16. So this much IPs will be allowed if we have subnet mask as /16. From 0 to 255.255, the IPs will be allowed. And if we have subnet mask as 0, then all the IPs will be included. Means from 0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255, all the IPs will be included in /0 subnet mask. So now let's talk some more about subnet mask. So as we know that the IP is made of 4 different octet. So this is one octet, this is second octet, this is third, and this is fourth octet. So in subnet mask, if we have /32, then no octets can be changed in our IP. If we have /24 as our subnet mask, then only last octet of our IP can be changed. If we have /16 as our subnet mask, then only last two octets can be changed of our IP address. If we have /8 in our subnet mask, then last three octets can be changed. And if we have /0 as our subnet mask, then all the IPs of our all the octets of our IPs can be changed. So these are octets and these are the subnet masks. So now let's talk about the public and private IP. So the Internet Assigned Number Authority, which is IANA, has established some blocks for IPv4 address for use of public and private internet addresses. So there are two different IPs, first of all, public and private. So IANA has established the blocks for IPv4 addresses to name them as public and private internet addresses. So let's talk about the private internet addresses, private IP ranges. So there are three different classes in private IP ranges. First is class A. So from 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255, we have the class A IP address range. So this range is only used for big networks. If you have to create very big networks, then you can use this class A, because we have many IPs provided in class A. Then second is class B private IP range. It starts from 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. It is used in AWS default VPC. So this is the class B range. Last is the class C range. So the range starts from IP range starts from 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. So this is used in home networks, we can say local networks. So these are the three different classes which are provided for IP private IP ranges. You can use accordingly, and excluding all these IP ranges, all other different IP ranges which are present are called public IP ranges. Other all IPs which are present in the internet are public IPs. So this is what is CIDR, and this is difference between public and private IPs. We also have the online calculator for subnet mask. We will see that in further videos. So that's it for the video. Meeting you in the next video.